So I know my number one competitor. I'm not even going to say him. I'm not even going to give him the credit. I'm not even going to talk about ADP. I'm not going to talk about those guys. But I do it better. So I, first of all, make sure it's clear it's better and why it's better. I'm not saying they're a bad entity. They're a great organization. I just have my niche. And so what I want you to understand is you took your idea like I took my idea and we spun it just a little bit. And you were struggling on a word in there, and I wanted to help you with that word. You made it a little more relevant. Okay, that's the word I think you're looking for. That's the word I was looking for. I made it a little more relevant. So I picked my niche that it was relevant to. Okay? And so then I architected a plan to attack where mine was relevant compared to theirs not relevant. And you know how I did it? One at a time. It's okay. You don't have to have brand. You're not hung up on money. You're an entrepreneur. You know, that's the perspective I want everyone to understand. Did you get what just happened there? It's okay, one deal at a time. It's okay. You know the win is going to come down the road and money will follow. Entrepreneurs are more about the idea and the success of the idea, not as much as that we have a gravy train right away. One deal at a time. A more relevant process or product, one deal at a time. They add up quicker than you can imagine, and then you reinvest that revenue. It's the only way to do it, friend.
One thing I've noted in the past 8 or 10 years here with this group, there's a lot of people that fly by the seat of their pants. There's a lot
Amen to that.
There's
all right, fly the seat of your pants. Let's hear it. High five. Yeah!
There's a lot of folks here that did not have a business plan, including me, and I've had 2 businesses, and they've been fairly successful in their own right. I am now trying to bring in a consultant into my business right now to design that plan so I have a little bit more of an exit strategy in 10 or 12 years to become a little bit more of a systems guy. I think I would have failed miserably in franchises because their systems are so tremendous. But I don't think it would have worked for me in the initial stages. I'm trying to put it into place right now. I think my question to you is, but I don't think everybody that has to start with a plan necessarily. You do have to start with, if you're willing to put a lot of hard work into your particular business, you can grow that business. I don't think not having a plan should prevent you from going out there and doing the deal.
Let me tell you something. You're right on. Most of us don't have a clear plan, but we all have a plan. Most of us maybe didn't write it down or hire someone to do a 5-point business plan. I'm guilty. My first business plan for PayServe Systems, which we're in 48 states now, we've overcome many market spaces. We've just done unbelievable things. I drew up on the back of a Bob Evans placemat, and it was arrows and boxes and graphs. So that's probably not a business plan to you, but it is a business plan. It's probably the same type of business plan you had. You know, the plan was to do this, and I was going to get there somehow. So most ideas are the budding business plans. The thing you touched on that I want you to completely understand is systems. Systems will separate your plan from a dream to a success. You have to be able to chart systems. You have to be able to make whatever you're doing replicable, whether it's internally or externally, depending on what the product is. If it's not replicable, it's more than likely just going to be a job the rest of your life. You'll own that job, but it's probably going to just be a job. The difference between a successful entrepreneurial businessman, a successful entrepreneurial business person, man or woman, is the ability to replicate it without your involvement. Okay? If you can't get it to that point, it's going to more than likely be a job. And it's okay. But everyone in this room doesn't want a job. They want an idea to succeed. Something that will be their legacy. Something that will be replicatable. Something their children, their grandchildren, or a group that you can pass on through time. Those are the things that are memorable. Those are the things that are legacy building. Those are the things that this type of group that's wired differently is all about. So I hope I gave you some direction on that thought. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. And the fact that you recognize that you need an exit strategy is a sign of a very successful individual. Yeah.
Thank you for what you've shared with us today. Before you answer the question, which is, who are your mentors? Who do you use as a sounding board? What strikes me is much of what you've said today revolves around the word belief. Belief in your plan, endurance, belief that you are the world's best salesman. And my question is this, is that everything you say I think is very admirable, absolutely on the right track. How do you know when endurance isn't being overutilized and all you're doing is just digging a deeper hole, and that really the premise of whatever your mission is flawed? You're going to fail. How do you get out of your way and ask somebody, am I on the right track? This is what I'm running up against.
I'm married.
Oh, now that's a shortcut. That is not fair.
That was a good one, right?
Hold it. What he was asking for was about your mentors, not...
She tells me, enough. She starts beating me senseless.
I don't think your wife is going to want to fulfill that role for Tony.
Well, not for Tony. She might. Yeah, she might. Well, I think that, you said something almost offensive, and so when you said it, you taught me something at the moment, and so, I guess I don't have an answer for you. What's your name? No, I mean, it's a positively offensive thing, and you said something about failure, and you lost me after that, I failed many times, and I'm just trying to say, there is a point where you're out of money, okay? It doesn't mean your idea is not good, It just, I invented what I perceived as the very first GPS driver text lock unit, and I spent about $80,000 to $100,000 with this amazing idea. It was just so brilliant. How could it not work? And so I hired an app engineer, a great guy, Terry Lewis, and I said, I want my phone to shut off when the GPS recognizes it's going over 5 miles an hour, and I want parental locks on it, and I want a 911 button, and we created this most awesome app called GPS Driver Text Lock. And I was on my way to Gecko and talked to them, and my whole point was to keep myself and my children from texting and driving. And it worked great. I got on a Droid, and we made it work, and I'm an Apple guy. And it worked perfectly. We drive down the road. I got over 5 miles an hour. It locked up. But it had the location devices and everything. And my idea was to sell it to Gecko and say, hey, listen, we're tracking people running up and down these roads. And if they sign up for this app for free, you'll deduct $200 from their car insurance. And if they have an accident and we realize that the phone was on, then you get your $200 back. I mean, it's flawless, right? Find a hole in that.
The passenger could be texting.
I fixed that. There was a bypass for that. Find a hole in that.
I don't want you knowing what I'm doing.
Then you could opt out of that.
You don't have to download the app.
Okay. So I guess my point is, it was perfect. But Apple didn't like it. Apple wanted it. So $100,000 down the drain, and it was me against Apple. Did I fail? No, I didn't fail. I didn't prepare for that. So I don't have an answer for you. I just want you to know that you're normal. And failure is the thing that motivates most of us to be different, to be wired different. Our biggest fear in life is failure. I can talk to 100 different rooms, and they're not going to be this room, and you're going to tell me I'm scared to death to fail. And that's okay. You can plan for it all you want. The bottom line is get up and don't do it.
All right, I'm going to come back to the last question and ask you for 3 names, either a book or a person that have influenced your life. What book or person would you consider to have pulled you forward?
Rocky Balboa. What's that? He's real to me, baby. You're
I
a
didn't
downer.
say it
Get
had
off
to be
Rocky
real,
Balboa.
Tony. Okay, 2 more.
Okay, so real quick on Rocky Balboa. I have 3 daughters. I made every one of my daughters watch 1, 2, and 3 before they were 10 years old. It was a prerequisite of my life. I did something, you know. Okay, so what was I got that Rocky Balboa. You want 3 people?
It's okay. I get it. Your mentors are personal to you. We're going to run out of time, so people who want to know more about his mentors and influential books can get with him after the fact. We're out of time. I apologize. So you'll stay around for people to talk to you?
Absolutely.
And he does have an offer.
Yeah, I want to let you guys know, and this is purely speculative. I want to learn from you. So I don't know if as much as an offer as it's a gift from you to me. If there's any time, I'm going to hand out my business cards, and you want to get in touch with me in the next couple weeks, I'd like to have coffee with you. I'd like to hear about your organizational ideas. I'd like to hear what motivates you. I'd like to be able to share some thoughts with you if I have anything relevant to tell you. And so this is a good way for me to get involved in this community and meet special people who are wired differently. Thank you very much.
Last week, somebody came to my, asked me for a $500,000 loan for his business. So I went out and tried to find somebody for him. And I found one that I thought would work, and they turned him down because they only make $5 million loans and higher. So, but he referred me to another person, and I think we got it connected. The reason I'm bringing this up is that this group has a depth in it that you don't always realize. It's amazing the amount of people in here that how innovative they are and make things work. So keep coming. Bring some friends next week. Yes, the answer is always yes!